A few months ago, our small group did a series of studies from the Bible Society called Life Small Group Resources, LYFE. We found them quite helpful. In particular, each week ended with a challenge with 3 things in it that we could look at as doing during the week ahead to try and help us embed what we learnt. One of the sessions on prayer, we had 3 things as usual as challenges, and one of them in particular really kind of resonated with me, and I found it quite a helpful thing to do, so I'm going to focus on that today. The wording itself was quite simple. It said, set an alarm on your phone to prompt you to pray. You could set it to go off once an hour and pray for a few seconds, or perhaps a couple of times a day when you're likely to be able to carve out 10 minutes. So I initially started off with setting my alarm on my phone to go off at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock, as I hoped those would both be times that would work. And I did that for a few weeks, but my working patterns changed and the mornings became busier with meetings. So in the end, I decided to give up the morning session and to focus on the afternoon one, which I actually moved slightly later to 3:30, which seemed to be a better time for me anyway. So what happens now is at 3:30 my alarm goes off. Sometimes I miss it because I'm in the swing of things at work. Other times there's something else happening which means I delay it for a little bit. But all I do at that point is kind of turn away from my work computer and I listen first off to a psalm. I play Psalm 27 on my phone. I found it useful to have something to help me focus, to get my mind disentangled from the things I'm wrestling with at work, and to remind me about God and his promises. And I found for me that hearing the same psalm every day helps with that. And I listen to the words and I repeat them back as the person on the recording says the words of the psalm. At the end of that, I then pray. I go through the members of my small group and I pray for each one of them, either kind of generally or sometimes just repeating prayers for things that they've mentioned as prayer needs, perhaps in the previous small group or something we happen to know about. And I may send them a WhatsApp message to ask, how's it going, if that seems the right thing to do. I then move on and I pray for my family, for my wife, for my daughters, for their partners, for my brothers and sisters, for my mum. And I just again mention them before God and pray for anything I know specifically that they're in need of, or just kind of give thanks for them and for what they mean to me. And then finally I go back to my work computer and I open up the chat channel for the team and I look at the list of participants and I just go down each member of the team in turn and remember them before God, praying for God to be with them, to bless them, praying that God would show me how I can be the presence of God in my team. It also helps me just to think differently about some of the people. If I've had perhaps a slightly trying morning with one of the people on my team, then turning it around and praying for them I find is helpful for me and also helpful for them as well. And at the end of that I just stop and go back to work, and for me I'm finding this a very helpful way of adding something extra into my prayer life that's helping me to link together my life with God and my life at work, which can otherwise be quite separated.